Welcome back to Georgia Highlands TV, our introduction to Hatha Yoga series. I'm delighted today to be in Springstone Yoga Studio here with Lynn Jacobs, the owner of the studio. This is right downtown Rome, just located on Broad Street, right across from Schroeder's Deli. And Lynn's going to be our guest instructor today. She's going to have a chance to introduce our students.
Thank you, John. Thanks. Today joining us in class is Elizabeth here in yellow, and we have Pat back here in the blue. So I thank you for practicing with me today, and thank you for joining us today. Today our class is going to be just a general basic class to stretch and strengthen the body and also release tension and stress. So I look forward to our class together. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and come into a seated position. So if you come down and start to find a comfortable seat, we have several options to sit comfortably. One could be cross-legged, so this is a standard cross-legged position. Another one is to let your ankles be in front of each other. This is a Siddhasana. And then for some of you, if it's comfortable, you could take your left foot on top of your right thigh. So you want to let this be a seat that is a comfortable seat and not forced. If you feel any strain in your lower back or in your knees, I would recommend that you take a blanket and fold a blanket and put it underneath you where you can let your hips come forward. And this should help ease some stress in the lower back or in the knees. Just make sure that the seat is comfortable and you don't feel any pressure or strain in the knees or the back. So we'll go ahead and begin in this seated position. We'll close our eyes. And just rest your hands down on your thighs by your knees. And allow yourself to have a regular breath. So just keep your breath normal, quiet, and calm. Eyes are closed. We'll take a few moments of centering, as we've all done something before we've come to yoga practice. And so it gives us a time to move from external awareness to internal awareness, and it takes a moment. So we'll do that here in a centering position with eyes closed and normal breath. What I'd like for you to do is start to bring your attention down to the two bones that you're sitting on, your sit bones, and without trying to push them down or shift your hips in any way, just feel that you're rooted and grounded into the space underneath you. This is helpful to bring you into your body and to move into internal awareness. From there, between the two sit bones, go to the base of your spine. And that is right in between the two sit bones. From the base of the spine, you're going to start to inhale, just a normal inhale, and carry that inhalation all the way up the spine. And then let your exhalation, normal exhalation, be nice and smooth. Let it go all the way back down to the base of your spine. And then brush your next inhalation up the spine and let that lift your spine. Let that give you more length, more lift in spine. And then exhale, bring it all the way back down to the base of the spine. And then just one more time on your normal inhalation, bring it back up the spine, but I'd like for you to stay all the way at the top of the spine by the base of your head. When you're there at the top of the spine by the base of the head, take the back of your skull and ascend it up toward the sky. And then let the front of the head descend down toward the heart. Keeping the eyes closed, just slowly start to bring your palms together. And take your hands to your heart. Keeping this lift in the spine, this vitality in the spine, we want to also soften the body and soften the mind so this doesn't feel like a stiff seat or a rigid position. So keeping the upright spine, relax your shoulders, let the shoulders be at ease. So the shoulders don't need to lift to be in this upright seat. Let them go. From there, we want to soften the face as a way of softening the mind and easing the mind before practice. So I'd like for you to travel in your mind's eye to your face and specifically go to the hinge of your jaw. Typical place that we hold tension. So I would like for you, while you're in the space of the hinge of your jaw, to release it and to let that joint be at ease. Let there be a space between your lower and your upper teeth. And relax your tongue. Let your tongue be away from the roof of the mouth let it also be at ease. And then let your eyes be very heavy and soft. Let them go. Let the space between your eyes be open and vast. And even let the space around your ears be at ease. In this wonderful position of an upright and attentive spine, with soft shoulders, soft face, soft heart, we'll start to begin a slightly deeper breath. So take your time and start to find a deeper breath coming in. You want to start to feel that the full circumference of the ribs is moving, but you don't want to force that to happen. So this takes several breaths. I'll give you a moment to find that. Breathing a little bit deeper, letting the full circumference of the ribs expand. And then I'd like for you to check in as you're finding this deeper breath. Has anything changed in the shoulders and the face? Let them stay soft. Let your heart be soft. And this is our intention for practice today. We'll be alert, attentive, and strong, but also at ease and peaceful in the mind as we move through our asana practice today, moving through our postures. From here, let's start to bring our gaze down toward the floor and very slowly start to open the eyes. And I'd like for you to remain with that deeper breath than normal, and then release your hands and bring the fingertips down, eyes are open. And we'll start to move with the breath now. So inhale, start to bring the arms up. Let this lengthen the spine even more. On the exhalation, start to bring the hands down. And this movement with breath is a way to get more tuned in to the breathing, tuned into the body. So a nice deep breath in, reaching the arms up. And then on the exhalation, bringing the hands down. Let's do this one more time. Inhale, reach up. So this is a nice warm-up to get the body ready for practice and feel our breath, feel where we are today as every day is different. Let's start to bring the hands to the heart. Pause here. Inhale, start to bring the fingertips back behind you. Roll each shoulder blade back as a way of supporting the heart forward. So each shoulder rolls back toward the spine. Lift the pit of the navel a little bit to lift the heart and to support the back. Look up, inhale. And then as you exhale, start to come forward. You're going to bring your fingertips forward as a way of keeping the sit bones down. So you would want a nice long spine. Don't be too concerned about how far you fall forward. Just inhale, keep the sit bones back, lengthen the spine. And then as you exhale, start to fold forward. Remember, don't be concerned about how far this goes. Honor your own body. Breathe into the spine, breathe into the body. Let your neck go in line with the spine. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Deep inhalations, nice long, smooth exhalations, releasing the lower back. And then on the next inhalation, you're going to start to walk yourself up. Make sure you use your hands for support. And then we're going to bring the fingertips beside us, and we're going to start to open the side body. And this helps open up the rib cage to help you breathe deeper for practice. So we're going to inhale and reach the left arm up. Right hand is beside us, and we're exhaling, we're going to go over to the right. Now this is just a warm up. So we're going to inhale and come back to center. Exhale and bring left arm down. Inhale, reach right arm up, and this should help initiate more length in the spine as you reach up. And then exhale, side bend over to the left, opening up the side ribs. Inhale, start to come back to center. Exhale and bring that down. This time we'll stay for 5 breaths. So we'll inhale and reach up. We'll exhale and start to side bend over to the right. I want you to keep that left sit bone down and stretch from there. Breathe into the side ribs and take a few more breaths here. So feel that this is opening up those small little muscles in between your rib cage. So when we get into more challenging poses today, you'll be able to breathe deep and move into ease into each pose. Inhale, start to rise up. Exhale and bring that down. Other side, inhale, right arm reaches. This is that initiation to really lengthen. And then we exhale and we come over to the left side. Remember, keep the left sit bone down. Reach from there and then side bend. Be mindful that you're not overdoing the side bend and straining the lower back. If so, then ease out some. Make sure that breath is deep and smooth. Deep inhalation, long exhalation. Opening up the right side of the body. And then on the inhale, we're going to come back to center. And then we're going to move into a twist from here. We want to start with a long spine, so we'll inhale, reach the right arm up, take the left hand back behind us. On the exhale, start to bring the right hand over on top of the left knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, you're going to turn from your belly first, and then your heart, and then your shoulders. Always let your head be the last thing to turn. And so twists in the beginning of practice are a nice way to massage the diaphragm, also making it easier to breathe in practice, helps unwind along the spine. And then exhale, we'll start to release that. We'll start to move into our other side. So we're going to inhale and lift that left arm up. We're going to exhale and cross it over. Take the right hand back behind you. Inhale, remember to go with a long spine, belly lifts. Exhale and start to turn to the right. So this should be a gentle twist. Don't over twist in the beginning of practice since the body's not quite warmed up yet. Remember to breathe, and we're massaging the diaphragm. Let the eyes be soft. Remember your breath, deep breathing. Don't forget about the breath. And then inhale, start to come back to center. Bring those fingertips back behind you one more time. Really take the shoulder blades back. Don't be inhibited to lift the heart up. Deep breath in. And then on the exhale, we're going to start to come onto all fours. So you're going to start to come off of your support if you have that. And we're going to work to get some motion in the spine. Wonderful motion is cat-cow Chaturvakasana to get extension and flexion in the spine. So we're going to move with our breath. Our wrists are right underneath the shoulders. Knees are hip width apart. On the inhale, we're going to look up and take the tailbone up. And then on the exhale, we'll round and draw the tailbone down and in, gently move toward the chest. Inhale, moving with the breath. Make it a nice fluid motion. Tailbone moves up, gaze looks up. And then as you exhale, the tailbone goes down and in, into our chest. You want to make sure you contract the abdominal muscles here to help release the back. Let's take a few more. Inhale. Exhale, nice smooth breathing. Long exhalations, deep inhalations. Inhale, look up, tailbone up. Let it be like a meditation in motion. Exhale, let it be smooth. We're getting waves along the spine, getting energy to flow along that area, vital part of the body, the spine. Inhale one more time, look up. And then exhale, start to come with the tailbone down and in, chin toward chest. We're going to rock back into child's pose from here. That means our big toes touch, our knees separate, and we're going to start to come down toward the mat with our chest down. Now, if you can, you're going to let your forehead rest down onto the floor. If that feels like it's uncomfortable, then put a blanket underneath the head, support it. Or for those that are high up, with the hips high up, you can also slide a blanket underneath the hips for more support as well. Take a couple of breaths here. Find that breath moving in the full circumference of the ribs. And then it's a breath that's deep but not forced or strained. And then on the inhalation, starting to rise up. And the next movement we're going to go into is a preparation for downward facing dog. So if you bend the right elbow and you take the forehead down onto the arm, you're going to walk your knees back just a little bit. You need to put padding underneath the knees while we're here. You can put a blanket there. You're going to reach that left arm forward, and I want you to spread the fingertips wide apart. This is what you would do in down dog. So the fingertips spread wide apart, and the palm presses down. And then this is really important. I want you to lift the navel in and up to support your lower back. And then on the exhalation, start to let your hips sink back and down. And that is a movement away from the left hand to get the stretch in the armpit shoulder area. So you're going to remain in the pose for 5 breaths. I'm going to come out and see if anyone needs assistance as I come up. So nice deep breathing. Open up that whole shoulder area on the left side. And then you're going to start to rise up from there onto all fours and switch sides. So take your time as you're setting up. You're bending the left elbow. And then stretching the right arm forward. And so you're going to have a good connection with that right hand, with a good connection with the earth. And then without pressing down, you're going to let the navel lift. And then let the hips kind of go back and down. So that's the counterweight from the hand pressing down. You You want to open up that whole right shoulder and arm, as that is sometimes a place in downward facing dog that is tight and not quite prepared to go into yet. Remember, nice deep breathing. And then on your next inhalation, start to rise back up onto all fours. And then we're going to come into downward facing dog from there. So you want to spread the fingertips wide, just like you did in that prep. Wrists are right underneath the shoulders. Walk the knees back behind the hips. You're going to come onto the balls of the feet as we come up. So you're going to start to lift the hips up into the air. Check your feet. Let your feet be hip-width apart. And then rising up onto the balls of the feet, start to straighten your left leg and bend your right knee. We're going to alternate back and forth. So bend now the left knee and straighten back behind the right leg. So this way we're getting some flexibility back behind the leg. So just kind of, we call this walking our dog. We bend one knee and stretch behind the other leg. Remember to keep the palms connected and to remember to breathe. Don't lose your breath when you come into down dog. Sometimes we start to get into more challenging positions. The breath might start to strain. Let it stay nice and deep and fluid. And then from here, we're going to start to move into good old-fashioned down dog. So without the movement of the legs, keep the palms connected. Come stay on the balls of your feet. Good. Yep, lift the sit bones up into the air. Good job. And then start to descend your heels down toward the floor. That's it. Yeah, and breathe. Check if this has changed anything in your face. Let your face stay soft. We want the action when the arms are strong, the legs are drawn back, the legs are active. But the face stays soft and at ease. Good job. Breath is deep. And then from here, start to lower your knees down and come down onto your knees. And we're going to start to prepare for a low lunge. So let's ready to step. If you need a blanket underneath the knee that's going to be down, you can always have that knee if you need to. You'll step your right foot forward and have the left knee down, and then bring your hands on top of your right knee. Always make sure that the right knee will be right over the ankle, so we'll let that knee come right over the ankle. If you feel that doesn't give you enough stretch in the front of the left hip, then you would just scoot your foot more forward and then get a little deeper into the pose. But if you're feeling that, then you'll stay here. We'll take 5 breaths here. Let's work the dynamics of the pose. Good. Remember first is that you're breathing and the breath is moving freely. It doesn't feel strained or forced. Deep breathing. And then from there, actions is to have that little lift of the navel. Flesh of the buttocks work down toward the floor. And then we let the hips sink down and forward into the lunge. Make sure while you're here that the shoulders relax. So letting the shoulders relax. So sometimes when we're lifting the navel, the shoulders follow. So we want to let the shoulders stay at ease. So we're feeling this in the whole front of the left hip. And then start to slowly transition down. So you're going to end up coming back onto all fours. Let that be a nice fluid motion. And then we're going to start to step the left foot forward and come into the low lunge other side. So if you need to pad the knee, you would put the blanket underneath the knee. We're going to make sure when we set up that the knee is right over the ankle. If you don't feel the stretch in the front of the right hip, then you would scoot the foot more forward, but make sure the knee is right on top. Okay? Let your gaze go softly forward. Find your setup. When we lift the navel and take the tailbone down and the flesh of the buttocks down, it helps increase that stretch. Remember to let the shoulders relax as we breathe deep. Let the heart be open. Good, doing good. And then from here, start to come down, transition nice and slowly. These transitions in yoga are always opportunities to move mindfully. And then start to come into downward facing dog from here. So find your down dog. We spread the fingertips nice and wide apart. We let the head go completely. Good. Make sure the breath is moving. We hug that outer arm toward the inner arm, letting the shoulder blades be nice and broad. Good, nice job. Good. Letting the legs be active, drawing back. Nice soft breath. A sense that the mind is at ease. And then start from here. We're going to start to walk toward the fronts of our mats to prepare to come to standing. So you're going to start to walk forward to the front of your mats. Make sure when you get here that the feet feet are about hip width apart, we'll bend our knees to take some pressure off the lower back. On the inhalation, start to rise up, bring the arms out to the side, and then up overhead, coming to standing. Come all the way up with the hands. Exhale, we'll bring our hands to our hearts. Let's take a couple of breaths to feel what it's like to stand and breathe. It's different than being on the floor and breathing, or on our backs or on our sides. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, and bring the hands to the heart, finding a nice deep breath, feeling that breath moving in the full circumference of the ribs. Inhale again, breathe, reach up, deep breath in. And then exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And then we're going to start to work into mountain pose, Tadasana. So I would look down at your feet and just make sure that your feet will be the hip width apart variation for Tadasana today. So feet will be hip width apart. One toe is not in front of the other, and feet are not turned out nor in. So we just make sure that's happening. And then once you're there, bring your hands to your heart, palms together in Namaste position. And then let your gaze be directly forward. Let it be soft. Because sometimes when we work stiff and statically, the body gets very concrete-like. So we want to be able to do this work but stay at ease. And then we're going to be tapping into our strength and our rootedness. So what I'd like for you to do, now that your feet are in that good position, start to rock forward and back. So you're going to rock onto the ball of the feet as you go forward, and then you rock back onto the heel, and start to feel the weight distribution change. And you're going to start to slow your rock, where you feel there's an equal weight distribution between the ball of your foot and the heel. So you'll start to come to stillness. And then we're going to start to move to the inseam of the foot and the outseam. That's the big toe line and the pinky line. And you want to feel there's also equal weight distribution there. So we don't feel like the weight is going too far in or too far out. Making a little adjustment there. And then from here, let's keep our hands at our hearts. But start to draw the energy of the inseam of your legs. So it's like you've rooted down into the earth. To pull the energy up. So we've rooted down. You'll start to pull the energy up the inseam of the legs. And you'll start to convert that energy right to Uddiyana. That's right at the pit of the navel. So you're going to start to feel that energy move to the pit of the navel. You'll start to lift the navel in and up just a little bit. That lifts the heart and energizes the legs. And then you just take the flesh of the buttocks slightly down toward the earth. And then release your hands down beside you. And let that relax your shoulders. Let the gaze be soft, let the breath be full, and feel your strength, your stability, but also that quality of ease, soft face, deep breath, shoulders relaxed. We're going to start to move into a standing pose from here. So you're just going to move anything off of your mat if you've got something there. And then we're going to move into a dynamic flow of Warrior One. So I'll guide you for the first few, and then I'll come back and assist if need be. We're going to start to, at the fronts of our mat, step our left foot back and have our right foot forward. And in a Warrior One position, we want the hips forward. So what we would do to make that happen, to not be harmful to the knee, is to bring the foot forward, the back foot more forward, or shorten our stance so the hips can come forward. Don't make your knee do a turn that your hips aren't ready for. So our hips are forward, we'll bring our hands to our hearts and pause here. I want you to be stable in this position. There's a little bit of a balancing component here as we start to move. So stay anchored in the back leg, and that's important. Root down into the big toe mount of the right foot. Root back into the back leg. Inhale, bring the arms out to the side, and we're going to start to move from here together. So we're going to inhale, bend the right knee and draw the shoulder blades back. And then on the exhale, you start to straighten your front leg. Cross the arms and tuck the chin in toward the chest. Inhale, start to open the heart. You're drawing those shoulder blades back. Knee goes right over the ankle. Stay strong in your back leg. And then exhale, start to cross the arms. Tuck the chin in toward the chest. Inhale, bend the right knee again. Draw the shoulder blades back. Lift your heart open. Exhale, cross the arms. Tuck the chin in. Nice stretch for the back of the neck. Let's do two more. So inhale, bend the knee. Draw the shoulder blades back. And then exhale, cross the arms. It's a very loving thing to hold yourself. yourself here. Tuck the chin in. Inhale, now open back up to life. Draw the shoulder blades back. Good. And then exhale and start to cross, tuck the chin in. Nice job, guys. And then on your exhale, you'll gracefully bring the back foot forward. This is that opportunity to balance as we step forward. We bring our hands to our hearts. We pause for a moment before we move into our other side. Good work. So we'll start stepping the right foot back, having the left foot forward. Pause there and get your stability. Feel your mountain pose qualities here in this position. Remember, hips are forward. Adjust the angle of the back foot or the length of your stance to do that. Root back into the back leg. Draw the back leg back for stability. Bring the arms out into the cactus position. And then on the next inhale, start to bend your left knee and draw the shoulders back toward the spine. So inhale, bend the knee, yet draw the shoulder blades back. Good. And then exhale, cross the arms, tuck the chin toward the chest as you straighten the front leg. Good. Inhale, open up to life. Draw the shoulder blades back. Don't be inhibited to really open. Good. Exhale, now completely surrender forward as you close inward, tucking the chin in toward the chest. Inhale again, staying strong in the back leg as the front knee bends. Good. And then exhale, crossing the arms, tucking the chin in, releasing that lower neck. The neck. And then inhale once again, start to bend the right knee. You're doing good. Gotcha. And then exhale, cross the arms, tuck the chin into the chest. Good work. Good job. And then from here, bring your hands to your heart. Gaze softly forward. And then start to step your back foot forward here. Okay. So we're about to turn to face the wall. We're going to come into a warrior two position. So another wonderful pose to build your strength and your will are the warrior poses. So we'll start to step out wide with our right foot facing the wall. So come wide with your feet. And you want to make sure that your stance is wide enough so when you go into the pose, you're not short. So what I would do is first look down at your feet and let your heels be heel to heel. And then I would bring your arms out to the side and I would see if almost that your ankles are underneath your wrists. Now it doesn't have to be quite that wide. Sometimes that can be unstable. But that's just a guide. This needs to be a wide stance. Wrists are almost under the ankles, okay? Bring your hands to your heart, palms together. And then we're going to do a little warm-up too. I always think of this as like the WD-40 for the hip joints. So I enjoy doing this in my own practice. We're going to take the right foot out and swivel the left foot in. So that's an important movement. That right foot goes parallel to the long side of your mat. The left foot swivels in. And we're just going to leave our hands to our hearts and leave our gaze forward for now. As you exhale, bend the right knee right over your ankle. And always make sure that that knee is facing the second and the third toe. It is good. Inhale and come back to center. And then exhale again. Take the right knee right over the ankle. Always making sure that the knee faces that second and third toe. Good. Inhale, come back to center. If it didn't, you would just shift that left hip forward. Exhale, bend the knee right over the ankle. We're just warming up that right hip joint. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale. This time, go ahead and bend your knee. Gaze forward. We'll keep the shoulders right over the hips. And then inhale. Start to extend the arms out to the side. Good, doing good. And then gaze past your right fingertips. Nice. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. Find your strength. Root down in your feet. Draw the energy up your legs. Feel as a hip opener, as an inner thigh opener, but you take the knees away from each other in warrior two. Let the knees move away. Good. Last 3 breaths. Stay long on each side waist. And let the shoulders relax. Good. And then take that energy out through the wrist and the fingers. Soft gaze, strong body there. Filling up your warrior spirit. Inhale, rise to center. Bring your hands to your heart. And then rotate your feet around for other side. Bring the left foot out, the right foot swivels in. And then from here, keeping your gaze forward and hands at heart, bend the left knee over the ankle. It's that WD-40 again for the hips. And then inhale, come back up. And then exhale, bend the knee, always making sure that that knee faces the second and third toe. There you go. Inhale, come back. And then exhale, bend the knee right over the ankle. You always would shift the other hip forward to do so. Inhale, come back to get that knee in alignment. And then exhale, let's go ahead and bend the knee. Extend the arms out to the side, look past left fingertips, and again tapping into your warrior spirit and strength. Go a little longer in your stance. Breathe. So you want to feel those knees moving away from each other. Draw the energy up. And let each side of the torso be long. And let the shoulders relax. Take that energy out through the wrists and the fingers. Soft gaze. Deep breath. Nice. And inhale, come back to center. It's very energizing poses. Start to bring your hands to your heart. And then step your feet toward the front of your mat. One more energizing pose, as yoga can't be all about flexibility, right? We have to have some strength, and this pose is good for strengthening the quadriceps, helps protect the knees when we have the strong quads. So it's Utkatasana, fierce pose. So you're going to bring your big toes to touch and your heels apart. We're going to do the variation, we're going to flow. It kind of eases the mind instead of staying statically. I like this for myself, to flow a little bit here. So we'll start to sit into our chair. Utkatasana is chair. So inhale, flow the arms up, and let that be initiation to lengthen the spine. Exhale, bring the arms down. Now sink into the heels of your feet in Utkatasana. Inhale, raise the arms up. This should be the initiation reminder to lengthen spine. Exhale is the reminder to sink a little deeper but stay long in the spine. Keep going. Inhale, rise up. You're doing good. Exhale and bring it down. So we're just fueling our life to be strong in the legs. One more time. Inhale, reach the arms up. One more time. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper if you can. Good job. Inhale, rise up to standing. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Gaze softly forward. And find your mountain pose for a few moments before we move on. From here, we're going to start to prepare to sit down onto the floor. So we'll transition down. If you need a blanket underneath your hips, you can put that there. We're going to come down. And the next pose is that equivalent of mountain pose in the seated position. So it's Dandasana, it's staff pose. It's a wonderful pose for our culture that has become like this for the computers. It helps bring you back out of that into an upright seat and helps build the strength in the core and in the back and trains the body to sit upright in a good position. So I would recommend, if you have lower back strain, to sit on the edge of a blanket. If you have tight hamstrings, to maybe put a roll underneath the knees. That is helpful. In Dandasana, we'll set up by bringing our toes together, straightening the legs, or putting a roll under the knees if you have the tighter hamstrings for some support. Bring the arms down beside you. Now, I don't have long arms, but if you do, you're going to end up with your shoulders up by your ears. So you're going to have to bend your elbows if you have longer arms. I can't demonstrate that when you're short. You have to bend the elbows if the arms are long. And I'm going to look and help students here in a moment. What I want to do is start to set up, so flexing the toes back. I'm going to come up and help them. That toes will flex back. And then the big toe mount of the foot will move forward. And then the pinkies wrap back. That's it. Good job. And then you activate the quadriceps. So we engage the top fronts of the thighs, but you would never do that so much that the heels lift off the floor. It's the wonderful pose, getting you upright, training the body. So from there, there's an upward flying motion of the navel, not a death grip. It's an upward, no death grip in yoga, always joy. So there's an upward flying motion of the navel, that sounds so much better. And there's a lift of the heart, good. So I want you to, from here, draw your shoulder blades more so down your back. And then slightly in toward the spine so the heart feels lifted. Let your gaze go toward your toes or your knees. And remember to breathe, that's important. Even though it's a very deceiving pose, there's a lot of work going on. Remember to breathe, good job, nice. Always making sure that the shoulders are right over the hips. And then start to release Dandasana from here. And we're going to start to move into a twist. So what you'll do is take and cross your right foot over your left knee. So you'll bend your right knee. Cross that over. Now bring your right hand back behind you for good support. You have options here. You can first start at inhale and take and hold your left hand on the outside of the right knee. Another option is to go deeper, is to take the elbow in a moment if you'd like to. So let's all look forward, either holding the right knee with the hand or taking the elbow on the outside of the knee. Inhale, look forward, and then exhale, start to turn now to the right. So remember, the premise of a twist is to work with the breath. Does that work? There you go, good job. So each inhalation is that reminder to lengthen. So each time you inhale, you lengthen. Each time you exhale, you may twist a little bit deeper, but not over twisting. So we're mindful there. So the inhale, we lengthen. And then the exhale, we twist. We're always letting the head go last into the twist. Inhale, finding our length. Good job. Exhale, finding our twist. And one more. Nice deep breath in, long spine. Exhale, twist. Good. Inhale, start to come back to center. And then start to switch sides. So we're going to straighten the right leg and bend the left knee. Bring the left hand back for good support so you can sit up tall. Inhale, reach that right arm up and either take the hand on the outside of the knee or take the elbow. It's up to you. If you feel too tight to take the elbow on the outside, then just bring the hand there. Keep that right leg anchored down and right toes flexed back. Inhale, look forward, and then exhale, start to turn now to the left, other side. Good. So remember that we can over twist, and we don't want to tie more knots in yoga. In yoga, we want to release the knots. So let this be an organic experience, an organic twist. Let the inhalations lengthen you. Let the exhalations turn you. On this side, when you inhale, you would lift your right kidney up into the body. And on the exhale, you would turn the left pectoralis out. Stay soft in the eyes and the gaze. Make sure we're not tensing the face and the jaw. Good job, guys. And then the inhale, start to release. Coming out from there. And then you're unhooking that foot over that knee. And you're going to start to lower down onto your mat. So you can do that using the core. So if you bend your knees, if your back is in an okay place to come down without support, otherwise we're going to pull back behind the knees or pull back the floor. So you just go all the way down. Nice control. We're going to start to bring the hands beside us, bend our knees. And then I'm going to come up to help you, making sure we're in good position to come up into Setu Bandhasana bridge pose. So let your feet be about hip width apart. Arms are down beside us. We're going to start in bridge pose dynamically. So we're going to move with our breath, and then we'll hold it statically for a little bit. Okay. So keeping the feet rooted down. On your next inhalation, lift your hips, lift your belly, lift your chest. And then on the exhalation, you'll come all the way down. So at the end of the exhalation, your vertebra would be all the way down, your tailbone would be down. Inhale and lift the hips, lift the belly, lift the chest, opening up the front body, strengthening the back body. Exhale, nice and fluidly coming down. And then two more. Inhale, lift the hips, lift the belly, lift the chest. And then exhale, start to lower that down. Pause here for a moment. So the next one that we'll do, we'll hold for 5-6 breaths. So stay rooted in the feet. On your next inhalation, lift the hips, lift the belly, lift the chest. If you opened up the shoulders earlier in that warrior one. If you have the mobility in the shoulders, take each shoulder blade back toward the spine, interlace your fingers, and take your knuckles towards your feet. Now don't force that if the shoulders aren't ready to do that. Good. If it feels good, be there. If not, bring hands back beside you. Good job. So from there, with the shoulders supporting the heart open, the movement in this pose is to breathe the heart up toward the face And then take some energy from the hips up toward the sky, but also toward the knees. So we're creating this bridge position. And then the knees root down toward the feet. You're also doing good. Remember to breathe. Stay soft in face. You can probably feel this in the backs of the legs, maybe the glutes, supporting you. Start to release the hands, and nice and slowly, you're going to come down vertebra by vertebra. The tailbone is the last thing to come down, but you want to make sure you're all the way down by the end of the exhalation. Let's let our spine come to neutral. It's a good thing to do. So I want you just to pause for a moment. Let the knees touch. Let your feet go out toward the edges of your mat. That should be a restful position. And then let your right hand come onto your belly and the left hand onto your heart, and we'll pause here for a moment. If you want to close your eyes, you can, as we're starting to move into a softer part of practice. But do remain mindful of the breath. Remain mindful of the breath. I want you to soften these spaces underneath your hands. As in yoga, sometimes when we do work and we're lifting up and we're using the muscles to sustain us in a pose, when we come down, there's still an energy holding there. And in yoga, we are training the body to not only be strong and be there for us, but also having the ability to let go. So with the hands and the heart and belly, these are spaces that we want to let go, so the body can know that the work is over. Especially in our culture of a lot of holding and guarding, we want to be able to let that go too. Finding that balance. And here, let's hold the tops of our knees and draw our knees in toward our chest. And we are all built differently, so we all have different bones. So you place your knees wherever it feels comfortable. For some students, that's close together. Some students, that's wide and apart. And then on your exhalation, draw your knees in towards your chest. And then on your inhalation, start to take your arms straight. Exhale and draw the knees in toward the chest. Inhale and straighten the arms. And then exhale as the knees move in. Remember to stay soft in shoulders and face. And then inhale, we'll straighten the arms. One more, exhale, draw knees in just to release the lower back. And then on your inhale, go ahead and bring your feet down. And then we're going to do a little bit of release behind the legs and for the inner thigh in a moment. Let's do a twist just to unwind first before we do that. Let's take our arms out to the side. And if you need to move anything out of the way, you can. So you can just push that out of the way. So very different than the twist that we did earlier is that it's going to be more passive. So with our feet on the floor, we're going to lift our hips a few inches off the floor. We'll drop the right hip down and take the knees over to the right. And then if it feels comfortable, you'll turn your head to the left. And so the twist that we did earlier is very dynamic. We're asking for lengthening and deep twisting. Here we're just really going with gravity. So if you want to close your eyes, you could, if that helps. Stay mindful of the breath, but allow that sensation of letting go happen into the twist, and going with gravity. Let the left shoulder relax. And if you feel you would like a deeper twist, you could always place that right hand onto the tummy, if that is something that the body calls for. It may or may not. Nice way to gently unwind from practice. If anything bound up in practice, you can unwind it here. Anything that doesn't serve you. And then start to release, start to bring yourself back to center. Feet will be on the floor. And once you come back to center, realign. So realign the hips, the spine, the shoulders, and the neck. And then we'll go into our other side. So leaving the feet down, we're going to lift the hips about an inch. We're going to drop the left hip down, take the knees over to the left. Arms are out to the side. And if it's comfortable to turn your head the opposite direction, do that's when you come into a full spinal twist. But if not, the head can also turn toward the knees, so that's fine. Remember to be releasing down gravity, letting go of anything you need to let go of as we're starting to letting down the right shoulder be heavy. And then from here, we'll start to come back to center. So remember when you come back to realign. So your feet come down, you realign against the spine and shoulders. We'll start to bring our legs up into the air with our feet facing the sky. So if you lift your legs up, you're going to start to bring your hands to the inner thighs with your palms out toward this direction. That's it. We're going to help to strengthen and open up the inner thigh here. So on the exhalations, we're going to take the legs out to the sides. That's to open up the inner thigh. And then on the inhalation, you bring the legs back together. We'll do a few breaths here. Exhalation, taking the knees out to the side. And when you inhale, if you feel a little bit of shakiness, that's normal, that's okay if that's happening. It's just the muscles waking up. Exhale and take the knees out to the side. If for some of you don't feel this, you can always at home, if you practice this again, do it longer. Exhale, inhale, bring that back together. And then two more, let's exhale and take it out to the side. Just opening up the inner thigh. We need to give it a little bit of weight, inhale and come back to center. And then exhale, we'll go one more time, taking it out, stretching the inner thigh, but not forcing that. And then inhale, come back to center. And then go ahead and draw both knees in toward the chest. And then from here, go ahead and inhale and extend your legs out onto your mat. And find your strap. Now, if you are doing this at home, you can use a robe, like a belt from a robe, or a belt, a pants belt, if you don't have a yoga strap. So from here, we'll start to saddle up our right foot. So if you bend your right knee, and we'll take the strap on the ball of the foot, and we'll extend that leg up into the air. When we get there, this leg will be straight. We'll flex the left toes and anchor down this leg. So we don't want to check out on the left side. Now, for any of you, if you have lower back strain while you're here, it would be helpful to bend the left knee and place the left foot on the floor. And I'll let Elizabeth demonstrate that. So that may be a more comfortable position for anyone who has had lower back strain. Thank you. You can extend back. So from here, we want to have a straight leg. And if your leg isn't straight, you would just reduce your angle and then come to a straight leg from there. We'll take about 5 breaths here. We want to take the ball of the foot and the heel right toward the sky, right up toward the sky. Breathe into that whole right side, the back side of the leg. And be mindful of letting the right side stay long. Sometimes we get into this pose, that right hip hikes forward. We want to lengthen that right side. So you might have a sensation of the right hip moving forward as well. Breathe back behind the leg, a couple more breaths. Open up the stickiness back behind the leg. I think this is my favorite pose. I love to do this pose. You don't even have to do this pose in a yoga practice. Start to lower the leg down, and then start to come into your other side. So lift your left leg up. Wonderful pose to do, even if you just had 5 minutes on your day. Stretching back behind the leg, you extend the right leg, anchor it down, or bend the knee if you need that support. We'll take a few breaths on this side. So let the breath be flowing back behind that leg. It's the last pose that we'll do. It's a nice way to end, releasing back behind the leg before we lay down for Shavasana. We're going to stay soft in the throat and the face and shoulders as you breathe. Maybe the left side gets cheated sometimes more than the right because we do all the instructions on the right side. So let's take a few more breaths. And then from here, start to lower that leg down. And you can just place your strap to the side. And we'll come into Shavasana from here. So this is the final relaxation in yoga. Some students just come for Shavasana, just to relax as we all think that we have busy lives. So the Shavasana position, if it's comfortable for your backs, is to lie completely down on your mat. And let your feet be wide at your hips. And you let the palms go up toward the sky, and that helps release the shoulders. And then we close our eyes and let our breath come back to quiet and calm. So Elizabeth is using a rolled up blanket because this is helpful for her lower back. So for any student that is lying down and they feel uncomfortable there, then they would just put a roll underneath it, because you can roll up a blanket there and do that. So I'm going to come and sit as you come into Shavasana. So the breath is quiet and calm. The eyes are closed. And I'd like for you, as you're shifting down, to feel that as you exhale, each time you exhale, you let go a little bit deeper. There's a deeper letting go. And then come and travel to your face and relax the hinge of your jaw again, as we had done at the beginning of practice. Relax the tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Relax your eyes. And let your bones be heavy. Let them go. Give yourself full permission to surrender and to heal and to rest. It's like you've taken a heavy baggage off your shoulder and you've let it go to the side of you, and you can go and release. I'll let you know with a few chimes in a few moments when to come out. Starting to bring your awareness back to the room, inviting a deeper breath in. And start to, as you're breathing deeper and preparing to come out in a moment, to let these two worlds come together. The world of Shavasana, of letting go, of surrender. Allow that now to come together with alertness, attentiveness, strength, stability. Let those two worlds be together as you come out. Don't leave Shavasana behind on your mat. On your next inhalation, bend your right knee and place your right foot on the floor. And then the next inhalation, bend your left knee and place your left foot on the floor. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, roll over onto your right side. And then you're going to use your right hand to support yourself up into a seat. Your left hand. Support yourself up in the seat and then your right. And then we'll close our practice, bringing our hands to our hearts, our palms together. Take the gifts of your practice off of your mat and into your life. Find your strength and your ease together. In closing, may all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may the thoughts, the words, and the actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and that freedom for all beings. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you for practicing today.
Thank you.